Of course, maybe the holiest site for the Jewish faith, the Western Wall. What does that represent?
The Western Wall is actually the retaining wall of the Holy Temple, Mount Plaza, and so it was a retaining wall. Now, when Herod renovated the Second Temple, he leveled a portion of Mount Moriah, and he had to build a platform. So he built a platform about 12 soccer fields big, and enclosed it by retaining walls in order to hold this platform down. And so the Western Wall is the retaining wall of the Temple Mount compound. Now, you have to understand, you can see that I am wearing a coin, and you see it's got a palm branch on it.
Yes.
Now, what did they wave when Jesus came down over the Mount of Olives?
Palms.
Palm branches. So palm branches represented freedom during the time of Jesus, or for the Jewish people. And this is a Jewish revolt coin, a 2,000-year-old coin. So you have to understand that when the evil Emperor Hadrian took control after the destruction of the temple, in 132 AD, that started what was called the Second Jewish Revolt, the Bar Kokhba Revolt, under a rabbi by the name of Rabbi Bar Kokhba. And so, unfortunately, the Jewish people lost the Bar Kokhba Revolt, and they were banned from coming to Jerusalem. But this revolt was started when Hadrian banned Jews from coming to Jerusalem. He would not allow Jews to enter Jerusalem only one time a year, on Tisha B'Av, and that is the day the first and the second temples were destroyed. They were destroyed on the same day.
Wow.
In fact, even to today, that's a day that the Jews mourn and lament and fast about the destruction of both of their holy temples. So Hadrian banned Jews from coming. He allowed them to come back one time a year, and they obviously would come to the Wailing Wall, and that's why it got the name, the Wailing Wall, because Scripture says nothing would be left of the Holy Temple, not one stone. And so that is what the Jewish people had to come back to.
In the desert near the Dead Sea, there's the site of Qumran. Why is that significant?
Oh my goodness. We found in Qumran, first of all, we found in several caves, but we found the oldest scriptures in existence in Qumran, in these caves. These scriptures predated anything we've had by 1,000 years.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So this is where the famous Dead Sea Scrolls have been unearthed.
We found scriptures from every single book of the Bible except for the book of Esther. And I mean, what a wealth of knowledge. In fact, the book of Isaiah we found in its entirety. And it's a miracle it even existed.
So, and they're still digging there, aren't they?
We're still finding. We found a cave not long ago.
What are some of the theories as to how all these scrolls ended up there?
Well, one of the theories, obviously the mainstream theory, would obviously be the story of the Essenes, who, you have to understand, the Essenes were a group of Jewish people. They believed that they were the sons of light. They believed the rest of the world were the sons of darkness. They believed there was going to be a final battle between the sons of light and the sons of darkness. They believed they were in the wilderness preparing the way for the Lord in fulfillment of Scripture. And so one of the theories would be that the Essenes were the ones that copied these scriptures in the area of Qumran. And that was kind of the main school of thought back, up until a couple of years ago. Now, the interesting thing, though, is that in a small place like that, in the middle of the desert, for a couple of hundred years, how many scribes could there have been? There were many different hands in the Dead Sea Scrolls. It doesn't quite make sense. So one of the new theories is that perhaps that was a biblical library from Jerusalem. And in preparation for the destruction of the temple, they brought all these scrolls down, hid them in the caves, all with the hopes that one day they'd be back to find them. And unfortunately, there was no one to come back. They were just planted there, waiting for us to be brought back to the land in fulfillment of Ezekiel 37, for him to bring us back to our soil, for a nation to be reborn, and the oldest scriptures in existence to be found, for us to get our biblical birthright back.
Another fairly recent discovery is the Pool of Siloam. Tell us about that.
Well, we had the honor of touring with Eli Qumran, who was one of the archaeologists that uncovered the new Pool of Siloam. Now, up until a couple of years ago, we believed everyone visited a different Pool of Siloam, which was actually a pool from the Byzantine period. But the Pool of Siloam was discovered when there was actually a leak in a pipe, and they did some excavations and uncovered the Pool of Siloam, the accurate Pool of Siloam, which is an amazing find.
And what happened there?
That's where Jesus healed the blind man. And you might remember that miracle was the miracle where he used saliva. And this man had been blind from birth. And that's not the only miracle that Jesus used saliva. And I think it's interesting also with the man with the speech impediment and was deaf in the Decapolis. He had a miracle. He used the saliva for his miracle, and also for the man in Bethsaida that was blind. And you think, if you go back to the Jewish beliefs of the time, you have to understand that the Jewish people believed that there were healing properties in the saliva of a firstborn Jewish male. That's why he would have done the miracle. And that took place at the Pool of Siloam.
Tell me about Masada.
Masada is an amazing place. It's over the Dead Sea. And that was a fortress that Herod built in order to protect himself in times of trouble. And just an amazing, amazing place. But Masada was the last stand of the Jewish people in the land. You see, when Masada fell, the temple was destroyed in 70 AD. Masada fell in 73 AD. If it wasn't for a miracle from God that we would be brought back into our land, that would have been it. And one of the miracles in Masada is we actually found Dead Sea Scrolls all the way down to Masada.
Wow.
That's the southernmost point that we found Dead Sea Scrolls. And when we excavated in the synagogue of Masada, we uncovered the book of Ezekiel. Not just that, Ezekiel 37. So can you imagine being in the place of Israel's last stand in the land? When Masada fell, we lost our land for 2,000 years, and here we are back. Prophecy is already fulfilled, and we uncover Ezekiel 37, prophesying that the Lord's going to bring us back into our land, breathe life into us, and a nation would be born again, and it was already a done deal. Amazing.
Amazing. Tisha, I want to thank you for bringing Israel to light in such a spectacular way. And as you said, it becomes technicolor.
That's right.
And I think you're true to that word.
Thank you so much. What a blessing to be with you.
That's it for this particular interview. Thanks for joining me. Really excited to take this ongoing journey with you as we keep bringing more content. If you haven't already, you really should subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of phenomenal content coming down the road into the future that you'll want to know about. Leave a comment down here. I think people would love to hear from you, and then you can hear from them too. If you liked it, go ahead and give a like. It only takes half a second, and share this with people that you care about. The world needs more light in it right now. So thanks for being with me. Hope to connect with you again soon.